the Devtac Ronin ballistic helmet. Let's talk about some of the features and what it offers, or is it just something that looks cool? Is there uniqueness to it that differs from other things that are currently out on the market? Does it allow you flexibility to do your job in the right manner and offering you that versatility as the end user? So the Devtac Ronin helmet is what we're going to talk about next. One of the first things that you're going to notice right away is this is a two-piece helmet system. You have the forward portion of the helmet, and then you have the back. Now, this seems really weird to me, and I'm used to, normal either carbon fiber. I'm used to other ballistic helmets, even dating back to the Mitch, the high cut over the ears. And when this thing came in two pieces, the first thing that I did was I put it all together and then put it on my head, because that's what made sense. It was completely built, and then of course, because like a lot of others, I don't really read the instructions until things aren't working. I was wondering what this strap was. I was like, man, when I put this helmet on, this strap's right in my way. So I just kind of pushed it up, got it out of the way, and just used a chin strap. However, it's not designed to be put straight on top of your head as a one piece. It's designed for two separate pieces. And one of the main reasons for that is in the event you take a round and there's a lot of deformation, whether it's in the top or whether it's in the back or the side, to have this thing break apart is very, very crucial. And it's something that, sometimes you just don't stop and think about when it comes to design. The thought process is, hey, we get one helmet, we put it over our whole entire head and we're good. But the reality is when we have that deformation on the inside, we might actually be causing more injury by trying to pull a one-piece helmet off of our head. So something that is kind of unique, a little different for most of us that are used to just putting on a helmet on top of our head and not doing it in two pieces. Let's kind of do a little bit of a walk around with this particular version that I have here. This is a 2A and in some spots 3A. Believe it or not, for helmets, that hasn't been changed since 1986, which is kind of surprising, meaning the NIJ guidelines. But you can find many videos online of this stopping up to a 44 Magnum. I believe the deformation is like 24.4 something millimeters or something like that, which is still significant, but didn't get a penetration. Generally meaning like it stopped and it would probably be touching, the inside of the Kevlar would be touching your face, depending upon how your face fits into this particular mask. Couple of the features, the way I have this mask set up right now, and that can be changed, is you have these magnetic panels, right? They still offer ballistic protection. I'm going to assume once it gets popped once, it's probably coming off. So I don't think the magnet's going to hold it that hard. However, with that said, one of the other interesting aspects is they have a full one piece that wraps completely around. So you would do away with this, even the front of the nose, which is ballistic as well. You would do away with that and run that one piece mandible, okay? That's going to offer you a lot of protection. Drawback to that, as your protection level goes up, what it's gonna impede is your ability to, say, shoulder a rifle. Now, if you were not concerned about that because you're running, say, lasers, then you would just make do with running a laser and then having more coverage. If you weren't running that, but you were running a pistol, you would have that same ability, maximum protection, and you wouldn't have to worry about cheeking the gun. So for me, I like having a panel that I can take off so I can cheek the rifle. That other one-piece mandible, one of the other cool aspects about that is that it would be really good for those that do breaching. Okay, so this helmet has more than just a shooter capability to it. When we start thinking about breaching, we might be in a situation where we get a lot of fragmentation back on us, on the breacher specifically. So this helmet's going to afford that. Now, there are some weak spots in the helmet. It's going to be at some point, usually where the joints are. The lenses, they're not ballistic, but they're AMTI rated. So the lenses typically will stop, I believe you're talking about smaller projectiles, maybe birdshot, but eventually it's going to penetrate through the lens. So the way I look at it is I don't count on the lens for ballistic protection, just like I don't count on these iPros to stop a 9mm or 357 round either. When you're wearing a helmet, one of the things that I found was, and you can do this with the foam and all the other inserts that they give you, how close are you getting your eyes to these lenses? Once you get it set up the right way where your nose isn't pushed against the front and there's plenty of room up there, I like to get my eyes as close to the lenses as possible. The horizontal view is 160 degrees, and then the lateral view is 140 degrees. I was a little concerned that if I put this helmet on, I'm going to lose a lot of peripheral vision. And the reality is that I'm getting pretty damn good coverage, and I've got a pretty good field of view, or what I feel is reasonable considering what this is. Now, we know that during aggressive activity, we could get hot, and if we start getting hot, all this stuff's going to start fogging up. We have a fan unit on top. Takes a 9-volt. I did think that was a little weird. It's kind of a weird battery. It's one of those batteries where you're going to have to go to the store to get one because you probably don't own anything anymore that has 9 volts. So I wish the battery was changed out to something more current, especially like a 123. Now, they probably did it for sizing. However, I think eventually they could get it to a 123 style of battery. That way we have the same batteries on us for our lights and our weapons and everything else, and there's a lot of consistency there in that. The lenses take AAAs. So what happens is there's two fan systems going on here. One that's like cooling everything down so you're not fogging up, but then the lenses can still be an issue. So what they do is on the right-hand side here, we have separate controls for the lenses, just the lenses itself, which I think is a real big plus, and you need them. I was wearing this in some pretty humid climates, and if you don't turn that on, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. The night vision mount, that really surprised me. I looked at this angle, and I was like, there's no way that's going to work. So nevertheless, I waited until it got dark, threw my nods on, and then just worked them, and man, I was really shocked. So a lot of thought and engineering has gone into this. So what I'm looking at is a ballistic helmet that I can utilize as a shooter, as a breacher. I can work night vision as well with this. The mount, the Wilcox mount, is what I normally use. And then of course I had a pair of TNVC Sentinels, and it kind of looks like it's not gonna line up, but man, it worked out really well. You also have side mounts right here for any type of weapon light, IR light, or some type of light that you may need to put on there as a backup. They have it on both sides. You can take it off if you want. The helmet, the biggest thing that I'm going to tell you is if you end up getting one of these, before you pull it out, okay, just grab the instruction manual and look at it real quick. There's so many different things that come with this that it's going to be a little overwhelming. But if you look for a second at the manual, which they have online, you can print one off. Take a look at that, and then you'll see like proper procedures for all this different stuff, where the batteries go, how to change out the lenses. So right now, I was really shocked. These lenses, I was surprised how decent they are in low light, no light. Now I had them send me a set of clears, and again, the system of pushing these out, switching the lenses are really pretty simple. But this is the Devtac Ronin helmet ballistic version. You can see right there the controls, kind of full 360 around. And here's my last thing on this. There's going to be probably a lot of people that think this is a joke. My thing is, this is a step in the right direction of where we want to be going. And if this is the first take from this company, I can't see what take number 2 or 3 is going to be, or where else they may take us as a gun community, where that's going to lead next. Because if you think about it, this is their first, call it, out of the box try, and there's always going to be a couple little things that you wish you had, but you can't build a custom helmet exactly for everybody. But I think they have done a good job for those that might need this from a shooter capability or a breaching capability. And I think that they're going to be one of those companies to where in the future we're going to want to watch out to see what they come up with next.